Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'll give us 2 seconds and then we'll get on with the show, just making sure that I am actually live. Yep, I am live. It is showing on my YouTube channel, so I just thought I'd just get that way because I didn't want to start doing it and find out that it's not actually gone on there. But anyway, so hi guys, welcome back to my channel. We are here with the Ultimate Racing League for the Sunday Championship, and this is the League 1, guys. As you can see, we are at Watkins Glen for round 5. Now, Watkins Glen is a real-world circuit. It has 15 turns and it is 3.37 miles long. And this is the 5th round, this is the next endurance race. So this is 50 minutes, but obviously converted into 28 laps. Tyres, you have to use all 3 tyres for a mandatory of 3 laps, and everyone is in AMG 20, so they're all in the same car, so there's no advantage for anyone. So anyway, they all went out, did their 10-minute quali. Nigel gets that pole position for the start of the race. Rufus gets second. That's his best qualifying of the season so far, and I'm quite happy with that as well. Slowpoke was 3rd. Chuck's 4th. Seamus was 5th. P.Y. was 6th. Brownie was 7th. Bluefield was 8th. Stealth was 9th. Hodgie was 10th. Rossi was 11th. And Hoggy was 12th. Now, he was unable to do qualifying because he had engine issues, so unfortunately, he had to start at the back. Let's see how well Hoggy can do throughout this race. So let's get these guys on the way and see how everyone does. Niggle's bringing them down towards then the first corner. Obviously, they go now. Bringing them, obviously, once again, Niggle bringing them down to the first corner. Hopefully, everyone can get around without an issue. Yep, no issues with anyone. But Niggle's already off, coming down to the chicane for the first time. Hopefully everyone can get through it without an issue. Like Chuck's already got past Slowpoke. Slowpoke's obviously dropped down to 4th place. Seamus is there in 5th. So not many position changes at the moment. Also, Hoggy's had an off somewhere. Let's see what happened to Hoggy. Because he was... Oh, he got it wrong coming out of... Came around and took it too wide by the looks of it. And unfortunately hit the wall. Oh, and he's spun it. Oh dear. So that is not a great start for Hoggy there. So he's got work to do now. You got Niggle leading, and then you got obviously Rufus. He's trying to keep on Niggle's rear bumper, and Rufus has got Chuck right behind him as well, looking to try and get past. Then you got Slowpoke there is 4th. Seamus is going for a pass on Slow, trying to go for a pass on Slow side by side. And P. White is involved there, so there's a 3-way battle for 4th here. So Seamus keeps that 4th, P. White gets up to 5th, so Slowpoke now dropped down to 6th, so he's lost 2 places in a couple of corners, so it's a shame for him. Delphi there is 7th, Bluefield there in 8th, He's being challenged by Hodgie here now. Hodgie's just got past Bloomfield. Bloomfield's down to 9th. Hodgie's up to 8th. Brownie's there in 10th. trying to go up the inside of Bloomfield now. Is Brownie ready to get this position, or will Bloomfield ready to keep it? No, Brownie keeps at 9th, manages to keep ahead of Bloomfield. And Rossi just landed in 11th. And Hoggy's still there in 12th, trying to make up time for obviously that crash earlier. And it looks like first and second are literally revving away at the moment. Niggle's got Rufus all over his rear bumper, looking to try and get past him. But Rufus does have half a second penalty here. Let's go on board with Niggle. Coming through this corner, not putting on too much acceleration. Rufus is now serving his half-second penalty. Around the next corner for Niggle. Around the next bend, keep trying to keep it in 4th. And then through the final corner, wants to start finish straight again. Through the next corner, it's come out there now. So now Niggle's got a bit of a gap to Rufus now. And Seamus is there in 3rd spot now, looking to try and catch the top 2 up. But he does have that half-second penalty, so is that going to allow P. White to come back at him and try and get that position? And hello to everyone who is watching. Good to see ya. Chuck is there, he's dropped down to 5th. Delphi there is 6th. Hodgie there in 7th. There's a bit of a gap to Delphi now. And Slowpoke's there in 8th. He's got Brownie all over his rear bumper, looking to try and get past him. Looking at the tyres. Slowpoke is on the medium tyres, whereas Brownie and Hodgie are on the soft tyres, so they're actually on the faster tyres. That's why, looks like why they're slow, he's dropping down the pack. Bluefield there in 10th. Rossi there in 11th, right behind Bloomfield, trying to get that position off him. And Hoggy's still there in 12th, closing the gap gradually and getting there. Let's go back up to front. Niggle has still got the leads, but he's still being chased by Rufus. Let's go on board with Rufus, aka myself. Bring it down to the first corner. Accelerate as much as possible. Niggle's just ahead, not far, about a second ahead, and then there's about a second or two to Seamus there in 3rd. So Rufus got through that corner a little bit better than Niggle. He had to close that gap a little bit to Niggle now. And he is catching Niggle at alarming great max speeds. So now he's back right behind Niggle again. And they are both on the soft tyres, so there's no advantage for either of them here. It does look like Nigel is having issue with his gearing. It does look like Nigel's having issue with his gearing, so that's helping Rufus out a little bit. And looking at the tyre wear, I wouldn't be surprised if both their tyre wear is just as bad, so I wouldn't be surprised if in the next 2 or 3 laps they will be pitting. And James is there in third. He is gradually closing that gap up to Rufus. He right there in fourth, trying to keep up with Seamus. Delphi there in fifth. He's sort of on his own at the moment. Hodgie there in sixth. He's trying to catch up to Stealth and stay ahead of Brownie. Looks like Brownie is closing that gap gradually on him. And Slowpoke's trying to catch Brownie back up. But it's only lap 5, so there is plenty of races, twists and turns throughout this race to go. Bloomfield there in 9th, he's got Rossi on his inside, battling him for that 9th place. Bloomfield does have half-second penalty as well. So when Bloomfield serves this penalty, which will be very shortly, that will allow Rossi to take that 9th position off of him. Chuck is there in 11th. He has been looks like he has been into the pits already to change his tyres because he's got a fresh set of tyres on, so he's dropped down to 11th position. And then Hoggy, he's been in the pits as well by the looks of it, so he's even further back. So lap 6, Nigel does still have the lead, with Rufus still chasing Nigel down, so Rufus is not letting Nigel is unable. He's been unable to actually get away from Rufus at the moment, which I'm quite surprised about because Nigel is a lot faster than Rufus. So Rufus is punching above his pay grade at the moment. And Seamus is there as well in third. He is gradually closing that gap onto the top 2. But Nigel is doing well to defend against Rufus. My question is Rufus going to be able to keep it up for a whole race? We will see. But he is really putting Nigel under a lot of pressure here. But they could, looking at their tyre wear, they could both be pitting here. For the next set of tyres, it looks like, yes, they are. Both are pitting now. Seamus is not, though. He is going to carry on, so he will take the lead for the time being. P. White's in the pits as well. So is Stealth. Slowpoke is carrying on because he was started on the medium tyres, so he is now up to 2nd position. Quite a lot of people are taking to the pits now, so as you got Brownie's in the pits as well, so is Rossi, so is Hodgie as well. So that will allow Chuck to get up to 6th, I think. Yeah, that's Chuck up to 6th. Bloomfield's obviously up to 3rd. Nigel's obviously come out of the pits. and he's got Rufus. They've literally both come out of the pits right at the same time, and Rufus is literally right on Niggles. They've literally just come out hammer and tongs, and literally Rufus is going for it, trying to get past Niggle as quickly as he can, and trying to, if he can, that is. But Niggle is on the medium tyres though, whereas Rufus is on the hard tyres, so it's going to be a difficult task for Rufus to get past Niggle here, with Niggle being on the faster tyre. And Chuck there in 6th position, closing that gap to Rufus and Niggle. P White there in 7th. Stealth there in 8th. He's got Brownie right behind him in 9th, but Stealthy has unfortunately got a 3-second penalty, which he will be serving shortly, and Brownie's literally just gone right around the outside of Stealthy on that corner, so that's a brilliant move by him there. And Hoggy is there in 9th now, with Stealth dropped down to 10th due to his 3-second penalty. He's got Rossi right behind him in 11th. Seamus has now taken to the pits, which has allowed Slowpoke to take the lead for the time being, and Bluefield has gone up to 2nd position. Hodgie there is in 12th. Let's go on board with Slowpoke for a little bit. Obviously, while we're on board with Slowpoke, he is Slowpoke Racing, and he does the comms for League 2, I believe. So go and have a look at his comms, because they are great comms. So around the next corner, can't see anyone behind him, and there's no one obviously ahead of him. You can just about see Bloomfield coming out that corner as Slowpoke's going into the next corner. I'd also like to give a shout out for Slowpoke as well. He hosted this race, so thank you to him for that. And thank you for Niggle for sharing the replay, because if he didn't share the replay, I wouldn't have been able to do this, because I was unable to save it myself. So this could be the lap. Slowpoke could be going into... Nope, Slowpoke's carried on, he's not going in the pits. So he's still got the lead for the time being, going on to lap 8. Bluefield is there in 2nd still, with Seamus there in 3rd. Niggle there in 4th. Chuck there in 5th. Rufus there in 6th. P White there in 7th. Brownie there in 8th. He's being chased down by Hoggy right behind him. Looks like Hoggy's going to try and go for a pass here on Brownie. Is he going to be able to get it? They are side by side here. And Hoggy gets it. Hoggy's up to 8th. Brownie now down to 9th position. We are on lap 9, so we have got 19 laps to go, so we're not even halfway through this 28 lap race. Rossi's there in 10th. He's being chased down by Hodgie, and Stealth there in 12th, chasing them down as well. So lap 9, Slowpoke still has the lead, with Bloomfield still in 2nd, Seamus still in 3rd, and Niggle there in 4th. He's being chased by Chuck. They are both on the medium tyres, so there is no advantage here. I think with Rufus being in 6th and on the hard tyres, he's doing a good job actually keeping up with Niggle and Chuck, because they're on the faster tyre. So he's doing well to keep up. He is doing really well to sort of keep them close by. So Bloomfield has now taken to the pits. Now Rufus is now taken to the pits for his second stop to get off them hard tyres. He's done the minimum 3 laps on the hards, and now I imagine he is going to go on to the medium tyres. So that's with Rufus going into the pits. That's allowed Pete White to get up to 5th, Hoggy up to 6th, Brownie up to 7th, Frosty up to 8th, Hodgie up to 9th, Delphi up to 10th. Bloomfield is now coming out of the pits in 11th and on the medium tyres. And Rufus is now coming out of the pits and in last place now. We have 18 laps to go. Slowpoke is still leading this race. When will Slowpoke be pitting? That is the question, because this will be his first pit stop. So the mediums have lasted quite a while. On lap 10, he's probably got 2, maybe 3 more laps, maybe 1 lap more on these tyres. He's going to do maybe 2. So we will find out shortly. Seamus is now going into the pits for his second stop. Niggle is there in 3rd. Oh no, Niggle is up to 2nd now. And he's being chased really hard by the Chuckinator there in 3rd. Putting Niggle under a hell of a lot of pressure here. But obviously they are both on the medium tyres, so there is no advantage for either of them. He does have more grip than Chuck does, because Chuck has been on their medium tyres for a bit longer than Niggle has. Be what they're in 4th, Hoggy there in 5th, Brownie there going out completely wide there. He's got 2-second penalty as well. That's given Rossi the go ahead to take 6th spot off of him. Hodgie's there up to 7th, Brownie's now down to 8th, and he's just about to serve his completely losing it there through the corner and hitting the barrier. So now he's got damage as well, serving that penalty. So now he is dropped down to 9th position. So no, lap 11, at the end of lap 11, Slowpoke has taken to the pits to change his tyres for the first time in this race. Bloomfield there in 10th, trying to close the gap to Brownie. And then Rufus is there in 11th place. He is now back ahead of Seamus, as obviously Seamus has been in the pits, so now Rufus is ahead, back to the way they were before, where Rufus was in front of him before the pit stops. And now they both had 2 pit stops each. So Rufus is back to 11th spot, but he's still got work to do. Seamus obviously there is in last place and trying to chase Rufus down. At the moment, on lap 12, Niggle still does have the fastest lap with a 1:46.7. And Niggle is obviously leading again, being chased by the Chuckinator. And Chuck is putting him under a hell of a lot of pressure. Is he going to bow down to the pressure, or is he going to keep defending that spot and keeping that Chuck from taking that lead from him? But they do have a bit of a gap to P. White, who is there in third. Then Hoggy there in fourth, but he probably will be pitting this lap. Yep, he is pitting this lap. Then Rossi there in fifth. Hodgie there in sixth. Slowpoke there now, obviously after being out, coming out of the pits, he is in seventh position. Stealthy there in eighth. Brownie there in ninth. Bloomfield there in 10th. No. Hoggy's obviously in the pit, so Brownie's obviously, I've lost track. Bloomfield's in 9th. Rufus is in 10th. Seamus is in 11th. And Hoggy there is now just on his way back out from the pits and in 12th. So we are only on lap 13, plenty of laps to go. Plenty of laps to go. Brownie has half a second penalty here. He is trying to close that gap on Stealthy, but he's got a half second penalty, so that will allow Bloomfield to take that 8th position off of him, I would think. Let's just stay and see if Bloomfield does. Yep, Bloomfield does take that position off of him, but the only question is Rufus going to be able to get past Brownie at the end here? Rufus has gone on the inside. Brownie's gone out a bit wide. That's allowed Rufus to go up the inside and take that position from him. So Rufus is up to 9th, so he's trying to get back to where he was before. The Chuckinator has now pitted, so that's now given Niggle breathing room, with P. White there in 2nd, Rossi there in 3rd, Hodgie there in 4th, Slowpoke there in 5th. Obviously Chuck's just left his pit box now, so he's on his way down the pit lane. So obviously Slowpoke there in 5th, Stealth there in 6th, Bloomfield there in 7th. And Rufus is there in 8th, so this is anyone's game here. Let's go on board with Bloomfield. Bloomfield's got Stealthy just ahead of him, and Rufus just a little bit further behind, closing that gap on him gradually. Gets through this right hander a lot better than Stealthy here, putting Stealthy under a lot of pressure now. Goes right, goes left, goes on the inside. So that's Bloomfield now up to 6th position. So now he's got obviously no one ahead of him. Well, not close by. But Stealthy is coming back at him. Rufus just let's come out here. So Rufus has just done the same, or he's trying to go get past Stealthy here. Oh, Rufus went out a bit wide there. But he's got past Stealthy, I think. Stealthy slowed down a bit. I think Rufus, I think they had a little bit of contact there. But so now Seamus is there, side by side with Rufus, just behind Rufus, trying to chase him down, get that 6th position. Rufus has got half a second penalty here, so that's going to should allow Sheamus to get past here. And then when it comes to tyres, they are on the same tyre here. And Stealthy is there trying to keep up with them as well. So we've got a little bit of a battle here. It's like 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th are all quite close together. So these could be any one position. Sheamus is there in 7th. He's right. Oh, Rufus goes out a bit wide there. But he's able to get out quickly. But that has allowed Sheamus to get past. So Sheamus is up to 6th. Rufus is down to 7th now. He managed to stay ahead of Stealthy. Stealthy is closing that gap on Rufus now. But Stealth does have low fuel, so Stealthy will be taking to the pits this lap, I assume. Let's just downboard and see what Stealthy does. Yep, Stealthy's in the pits. So is Brownie going in the pits as well. So is Rossi and so is Hodgie. So lap 16, Niggle still has the lead with Slowpoke is in 2nd now. Bloomfield there in 3rd, Sheamus there in 4th. Rufus there in 5th. And now they've got a bit of a gap to Chuck there in 6th. He's got a gap to PY in 7th, who's being chased down by Hoggy in 8th. Is Hoggy going to be able to try and go for a pass here? He is attempting to, yep, he did. He got past PY quite easily there, but I think PY might have just let Hoggy go there. So PY is down to 8th now. Rossi there coming through the chicane in 9th position. Hodgie there in 10th position. There's Stealthy there in 12th. In 11th. And Brownie coming through the chicane in 12th. Stealth was 11th, Brownie was 12th. Brownie is trying to close that gap on Stealthy. Looking at their best lap times. Brownie's best lap time was a 1:47.9. And I can't see at the moment. Stealthy's best lap time is 1:49.5, but probably done quicker than that. So let's go back up to the front. Lap 17, Niggle still leads this race, with Slowpoke still in 2nd position, with Bloomfield there in 3rd. Sheamus there in 4th position still, chasing down Bloomfield. So Sheamus is putting Bloomfield under a hell of a lot of pressure here. Is Bloomfield going to be able to hold Sheamus off, or is Sheamus going to be able to get past? That is the question. But Sheamus is really going for it. He wants that 3rd position. Then Rufus is there in 5th. He is not too far behind them. He's waiting for them to make a mistake and then he can pounce. Niggle has, on lap 17, taken to the pits to change his tyres and refuel, or he might just be refueling. Slowpoke has taken to the pits as well, so that's allowed Bloomfield to take the lead, with Seamus there in second. Seamus is still chasing down Bloomfield, trying to get that first position from him. All over his rear bumper here. They are now side by side. Who's going to have the biggest cojones through this chicane? Is Bloomfield going to let Seamus go? He does. So Seamus is now up to first place, with Bloomfield there down to second. But although Bloomfield is watching and trying to keep up with Seamus and catch him back up, he's also got to worry about Rufus, because he's on fire this race. Chuck there in fourth position. He's got half-second penalty, so that should allow Hoggy to take that position, possibly, if he's close enough. And P. White is just behind in sixth. And then Niggle obviously has come out of the pits. He's in seventh. Rossi's there in eighth. Slowpoke's there in ninth. Hodgie's there in 10th. Stealth's there in 11th. He's still being chased by Brownie in 12th. But Brownie does have half-second penalty to serve, so that's going to give Stealth a bit of breathing room here. So let's go up back up with lap 18. We have 10 laps to go. Bloomfield there in second. Rufus is now going into the pits for his final stop, which should be, because there is the fuel lasts about 9 laps. Well, should last about 9 laps. So that will allow Chuck is now up to third, with Hoggy there in fourth. Oh, looks like Chuck got that a little bit wrong. That's allowed Hoggy to go for a run on him. They are but Chuck and Hoggy are side by side here. But Hoggy is passed, so Hoggy's up to third. Chuck is down to fourth. But Hoggy is on the fast tyre, Hoggy's on the medium tyres, Chuck is on the hard tyres. And P. White there is, so Chuck will have to worry about P. White in a minute, because P. White's on the medium tyre, he's on the faster tyre. Hello to everybody who is watching. Niggle there is in 6th position. Rossi's chasing Niggle down, but Rossi will have to do another pit stop at some point. Slowpoke there in 8th. Hodgie there in 9th. And Rufus, obviously, after being in the pits, he's come out of the pits in 10th position. It's like he's trying to make a play to get past Hodgie here. So now Seamus and Bluefield have both pitted for what should be their final stops. So let's just stay with these two, see if Rufus gets around and out of the pits before, well, Seamus is just leaving his pit box now. Is Rufus going to be able to, because he was just behind him, is Rufus going to be able to get back ahead of him? I don't think he will be able to. Rufus just coming down the start finish straight, coming down to the corner. But Seamus has just left the pit, so yeah, he is still ahead, with Bloomfield still being ahead as well. Rufus is there in 9th, closing that gap on Bloomfield. It's soft tyres versus medium tyres. This is Rufus's chance to get past Bloomfield, as Bloomfield's tyres are going to be cold. Rufus gets past Bloomfield rather easily there. Brownie there in 10th. Oh, Brownie went completely wide there, hit the grass. That slowed him down a little bit. So that allows Stealthy to take the position off him. And Brownie's got another half-second penalty for his trouble there. That's going to give Stealthy the breathing room that bit of breathing room that he wants now. We are on lap 20. We do have only 8 laps remaining, ladies and gentlemen. And Hodgie is well back in 12th position, so he has got work to do to make positions up in his final 8 laps. So Chuck has now taken the lead for, I think, the first time today, with P. White there in second. He is right behind. P. White is putting Chuck under a lot of pressure. It's hard tyres versus medium tyres here. So ideally, White needs to get past Chuck as quickly as possible since he's on the faster tyre. And let's go see how everyone else is doing. There's a big gap from P. White to Rossi there in third, who's got Niggle there in fourth chasing him down. But Rossi probably will be pitting soon looking at his tyres, whereas Niggle's okay because he's on the hard tyres. Slowpoke there in fifth. He's being chased by Seamus. And he's got Rufus trying to chase him down, but not having much luck at the moment. But he's got Bloomfield all over his rear bumper. They are side by side here. Is Bloomfield going to be able to get this position here, or is Rufus going to keep it? Bloomfield gets past here, so Bloomfield's now up to 7th. Well, they are both on the same tyre here. So P. White's going for it. He is past Chuckinator here. That's P. White up to first, but Chuckinator is still there right in his slipstream. But now this is where P. White needs to put the pedal to the metal and get as far ahead of the Chuckinator as he can. But I'm guessing, looking at these fuels, they both are probably going to have to pit again at some point towards the end. And then that biggest gap to Rossi there in third, who he will probably be pitting rather shortly. Niggle there in fourth. Slowpoke there in fifth. He's got Seamus all over his rear bumper. It is hard tyre versus medium tyre at the moment. So Seamus is trying to get past it, but Slowpoke is doing a good job defending against him at the moment. So yep, Chuck has taken to the pit to change his tyres and refuel as well. But Slowpoke is under a lot of pressure, so is Rossi as well. So Rossi's going, Seamus is going for it here. Seamus is passed, now up to third. Slowpoke's down to fourth. He's got Bloomfield chasing him. in 4th, and then there's Rufus there in 6th to the top. So 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th are all still relatively quite close to each other. Like it's anyone's game here. Any mistakes for any one of these will be a dear. Looking at the times, Slowpoke's fastest lap is a 1:48.3. Bloomfield's is a 1:47.4. And I can't tell what Rufus it is because that was a while ago. But Rufus is back right behind Bloomfield, looking for that 5th place from Bloomfield. Is Rufus going to use this opportunity to try and get past? He's going up to the side. And he does. He takes that position off Bloomfield. So Rufus is now up to 5th, going after Slowpoke. So P. White is now in the pits as well. So James is now starting to get away from this pack gradually, and Niggle's just about to retake the lead. So P. White's down to 2nd. He just left his pit box, was on his way down towards the end of the pit box. So Slowpoke is there in 3rd. He's got Rufus all over his rear bumper now. He's medium tyres versus hard tyre. Rufus is right on Slowpoke's rear bumper here. They are side by side, but Rufus is going to have to obviously yield to let Slowpoke go. Then Bloomfield is there, still in 4th. He's dropped off a little bit. Rufus has gone up the inside, gone around the inside of Slowpoke and got a nice sweet inside move there. So that's Rufus now up to 3rd position. So anyway, we are on lap 24. We have 4 laps left remaining. Niggle still leads. He's got Seamus bearing down on him quite quickly. Is Niggle going to be able to hold off Seamus here? Or is Seamus going to get past? Time will tell. It does look like Niggle's still having problems with his gearing, so that could be his downfall in this race. Towards the end of this race, unfortunately. I need a well-deserved drink. So in lap 25, so 3 laps left to go. With Niggle there in 1st position. He's got Seamus right on his jacksy now, trying to get that 1st position from him. So they are going at it hammer and tongs with the last 3 laps of the race. Niggle has got 3 laps to hold Seamus off. Whether he will be able to is another question, because we all know it's one thing to catch someone, it's another thing to pass them. But then there down in 3rd, Rufus is in 3rd position, looking to try and close the gap on 1st and 2nd. Slowpoke there in 4th position, trying to catch Rufus up. Hoggy there in 5th. Chuck there in 6th. He's being chased by P. White in 7th. Rossi there in 8th. Bloomfield there in 9th. Hodgie there in 10th. Stealth there in 11th. And Brownie's dropped off a little bit there in 12th, and he's got another half a second penalty. So he's been getting a lot of penalties here. The penalties have not been kind to him at all. this race. So lap 25 going on to lap 26 with 2 laps left to go. And Niggle is still leading with Seamus bearing down on him. Seamus is making a play for it here. They are side by side here. Who's going to get the advantage? We're coming to the chicane. Seamus has got just ahead. So Seamus has now got the lead from Niggle. Niggle was unable to hold him off. So it's now Seamus first, Niggle in second. With Rufus still there in third. Doing quite well there. And Slowpoke there in fourth. Rufus has got a little bit of a gap to Slowpoke, so doesn't have to worry about him that much at the moment. But Rufus is closing that gap. Looking at the times, Rufus is actually running quicker than the top 2 at the moment. But yeah, looking at it, so James's last lap was a 1:49.2, Niggle's last lap was a 1:49.6, and Rufus's was a 1:48.5. Oh, so not, yeah, so Rufus is running slightly quicker than these 2 at the moment, trying to close the gap on these 2, not letting them go away. Slowpoke there, we are on lap 27, this lap plus 1 more lap to go. Slowpoke's now got Hoggy all over his rear bumper there in 5th position. Hoggy's looking to see if he can get past. Chuck there in 6th, he's closing the gap on them now as well. So is P White there in 7th, Rossi there in 8th, Bloomfield there in 9th, Hodgie there in 10th, Stealth there in 11th, Brownie there in 12th, and Seamus has just run away now, like there's nothing that Niggle can do, but Niggle is on the hard tyre, so he is on the slower tyre. And Rufus is just dropped off now. He was catching him at alarming knots, but now Rufus's pace has dropped significantly now. He has been, and he's got Slowpoke chasing him down, with Hoggy there as well, Chuck there as well, and P White there as well. Is Rufus going to be able to keep that 3rd position? Will take that bit a bit wide, but Slowpoke is closing that gap significantly on him. Coming through this final corner to enter the final lap of this race. Coming around the corner. Oh no! I do not think Slowpoke was supposed to do that. Hits the wall and goes for the pits. Let's just watch that again. So he's coming around towards closing the gap on Rufus. Comes around this final corner. Hits the wall by a little bit and it bumps him off and throws him into the pits, ladies and gentlemen. So that's the blooper of the race. And I doubt Mark Slowpoke will be very happy with that one. So anyway, we are now on the final lap. We have done 28 laps around Wilkins Glen. The racing has been fast and furious, but now it comes down to this final lap of where everyone is going to finish. So Seamus has more or less got this race cracked, unless he makes a mistake. Niggle there's got a second crack as well. The question's going to be, is Hoggy going to be able to catch Rufus up? Is Rufus going to be able to keep that third position? Rufus's light on his fuel is flashing up dramatically. Has he got enough fuel to last till the end? Is Hoggy going to get that third position, or is Rufus going to get his first podium spot of the season? Only a few more turns for Rufus to get his first podium of the season. Only a few more turns. Is Niggle's well ahead. Doesn't have to worry about Niggle. And he's still got it. And he's run out of fuel. And Rufus in third place has run out of fuel. So Seamus takes a fantastic victory. Niggle takes second. Hoggy takes a third spot and podium position. P. White will take fourth. Chuck will take fifth. Rossi will take sixth. Bluefield will take seventh, and Rufus will take eighth after that awesome race he was having. Superb, best race of the season so far for him, and he loses, runs out of fuel. Slowpoke in ninth position. Hodgie 10th. Stealth 11th, and Brownie's just serving his penalty again to bring it home and finish in 12th place. Now, I thank you everyone for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Please like and comment and subscribe if you haven't, if you're a new user. And we will see you next time for round 6 at, I believe it is at McGrory GP next. Thank you, Niggle, and thank you for the great, and you're welcome. I will thank you for watching, and that's bye bye from me. Hope you enjoyed. Bye.